From the United Kingdom, we bid you all a good evening, or good morning as the case may be.
Welcome to Anomaly Researchers UK YouTube channel. The place where all sorts of paranormal strangeness is discussed.
We've been on a search for answers to what exactly is going on.
So, let's get into it.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. We have a great story tonight that some of you may or may not have heard before, so let's see. This one comes from a book called Strange Stories and Amazing Facts, circa 1989, but it was first published back in 1975 by the Reader's Digest. It reads: one of the most spectacular UFO reports came from a USA Gemini 4 astronaut, James McDivitt, in June 1965. In orbit about 90 miles above Earth, McDivitt saw a cylindrical object with arms protruding from its sides, which he took to be another spacecraft with antennae. It appeared to be in free flight over the Pacific Ocean, and was somewhat higher up than the Gemini capsule. McDivitt took one still photo and some footage of the craft. He observed that the craft was moving in parallel to his own craft, and was closing in very fast. McDivitt and his fellow astronaut, Ed White, were hastily preparing to take evasive action, when the UFO vanished from view. After their splashdown, the footage was taken away, and McDivitt did not see it again for several days. When he did inspect the footage, the UFO was hazily outlined against the sky. But he remained convinced that it was a positive identification. Originally, McDivitt had thought that he had spotted the unmanned photographic satellite called Pegasus, but that was actually 1,200 miles away at the time of his sighting. However extraordinary their context, such reports must be given serious consideration, as highly trained astronauts are unlikely to give way to speculation, or let their imagination run wild. The sixth man to walk on the moon, Edgar Mitchell, told a press conference in 1974, that indeed some UFO sightings are real, but the question isn't where the UFOs are from, but what are they? Approximately 26 astronauts have reported seeing UFOs. The first reported UFO-related space sighting was back in 1962, and later, strange reports came from the men stationed on Skylab's 1, 2 and 3. It is said that NASA take UFO sightings seriously, and has actually allocated a special code word for such things, namely, boogie, for these sort of unidentified aerial craft. During their tour of duty on Skylab 2, astronauts Jack Lousma, Alan Bean and Owen Garriott observed and took photos of a red UFO for about 10 minutes, whilst they were 270 miles above planet Earth. The UFO rotated every 10 seconds, and was at a distance of 30 to 50 miles away from them, in an orbit very close to theirs. In a prepared statement which was presented to the Committee on Science and Astronautics of the U.S. House of Representatives in 1968, Professor James McDonald, a physicist from the University of Arizona, said, "My own present opinion, based on 2 years of careful study, is that UFOs are probably extraterrestrial devices, engaged in something that might be tentatively be termed as surveillance.